Shalom. I would like to give all reverence, due benevolence, worship, honor, praise, and glory unto the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. This is a morning exhortation for those of you who may just be waking up and need some words of positivity from the scriptures, or you may be headed to work, whatever it is that you may be doing. It is of my belief, and I speak as a man, that if you're just getting your feet wet with the scriptures and you just came into the knowledge and understanding of your true heritage according to the Holy Bible, that you are an Israelite of the 12 tribes, speaking to those of you who have fathers who are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, then a great way to start purging your soul of its worldly and carnal desires and affections is by fasting. We are required as children of the Most High to keep the commandments, which you can find in the first 5 books of Moses, the first 5 books of the Bible, but we're also required to work toward picking off the things that we are able to reform in ourselves as soon as we become privy to it. Meaning, when we read the scriptures on a daily basis, which we're supposed to do, we're supposed to look at what it's telling us to do and what it's commanding us to do. And if we find that we are transgressing in one point or another and we can fix it, we do so, whether that's on the spot. If, for example, you have a day off on Friday, a day off on Friday and on Saturday, and you like to go out and spend money on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath day, and you read Exodus chapter 20, and you see that we're supposed to keep the Sabbath day holy, that's something that you can make a decision right there on the spot. I'm not going to transgress the Sabbath anymore. Or something that may take a little bit of time to work toward. If you read the book of Numbers chapter 15, verse number 38, and you see that Israel's supposed to wear fringes on their garments, then you work toward going to a tailor to get fringes put on your t-shirts, on the borders of your garments, things of that sort. So fasting is a great way to get rid of the attachments that we have to our souls for things that are not conducive to it on a deep level. Things like envy, covetousness, lasciviousness. If you're someone who has a high sex drive and you like to, for example, if you're a woman who likes to have a lot of recreational sex, then fasting will be a great way for you to put things in perspective and discipline your soul so that you're not just throwing your body around, because there are not supposed to be any whores of the daughters of Israel. And the same thing could be said for if you're someone who likes to gossip, for example. That goes for men and women. You could fast to try and discipline your tongue so that you're depriving the body of food which it needs, and you can focus on spiritual things and meditate on how it is that you intend to carry out your daily conversations with people, so that you're keeping the secrets that other people trust you with when they confide in you. So this is the book of, I'm going to start in the book of Matthew chapter 17, and I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed, for oft times he falleth into the fire and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahushua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Yahushua said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. So you may be someone who has a hard time believing things that are told unto you. You may have trust issues. And if you're someone that is coming into this faith with a heap of trust issues because you were in relationships that didn't work out, or you had parents that abused you and you were constantly lied to throughout your childhood and adolescence, if you have trust issues, that could be a hindrance toward you building your faith, because you literally have to trust in the things that you can't see right in front of you, but that you envision. We should be envisioning making it to the kingdom, getting beamed up in the chariots, being delivered out of Babylon the Great. We need to have foresight to see that the prophecies of the Lord will come to pass and that mayhem will break out, which will signal the end of this present world. We need to believe, as it tells us in the book of Philippians, that and be confident in the fact that the good work that the Lord has begun in us shall he continue and fulfill until the day of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So in order to lay the foundation of faith and start laying the building blocks for that house, proverbially speaking, you have to be able to trust in the words in the scriptures. And Yahweh Shai HaMashiach's disciples, who you may know as Jesus Christ, but his true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. His disciples saw him do many miracles. At this point, this is Matthew chapter 17. They had already seen him turn water to wine. They had already seen him feed 4,000 with just a few loaves of bread and a few fishes. They saw him do all these great works, and yet they could not cast out this devil from this man's son. So that just goes to show just how much you have to put in legwork to truly relinquish your soul, to have full confidence and belief in the Lord, in the words that he speaks. Because again, the apostles walked with him and they saw him face to face, up close and personal. We're in captivity, 2,000 years removed from his ministry. All we have are the words on the page here, and just that spiritual connection and knowing that the Lord is working with us. So if you have trust issues, fast. Because when you deprive your soul and your spirit of food, you're now thinking on spiritual things. It heightens your spiritual connection to the Most High. It weeds out the things that are not conducive for the spirit. And then the more you do it over time, the better it is for you, and you'll wax mightier in the spirit. Now, this is the book of Mark, chapter 14, and I'm going to jump around, but I'm going to start at verse number 32. It says, And they came to a place which was named Gethsemane, and he saith to his disciples, Sit ye here while I shall pray. And he taketh with him Peter and James and John, and began to be sore amazed and to be very heavy. And he saith unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch. Now I'm going to jump down to verse number 37. It says, And he cometh and findeth them sleeping, and saith unto Peter, Simon, sleepest thou? Couldest not thou watch 1 hour? Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. So Yahweh Shai HaMashiach was about to be crucified, and he was really in great distress. He was beseeching the Father, but he exhorted his disciples to stay awake and pray, because if not, they would fall into temptation. And what does that mean? When you fall into temptation, just think about what it is when you're tempted. Just take like a sexual encounter, for example. If you're flirting with someone, you're trying to tempt them to go to the next stage with you. And you understand what I mean by that. From a spiritual standpoint, when you fall into temptation, that means that you're enticed to do things that transgress the law. So the Lord here was saying that his disciples needed to pray because the spirit is ready, but the flesh is weak. So that's another thing. Especially if you're brand new to this or just coming into the knowledge of your heritage and starting to keep the commandments, your spirit, you may have that understanding in your mind, like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to clean up my act in these points. But your flesh is weak, meaning what? Again, I'll just turn back to the sexual nature that we all have within us. You may know that, all right, I need to be more careful with how I deal with my sexual interactions, specifically speaking to you women if you're listening. But your flesh is weak because our members have a mind of their own. And it's hard to tame that. But in all seriousness, when you fast, it does diminish that sexual urge that we have. Speaking from experience, and many men who walk this walk could likely also testify to that as well. Because you give yourself over to reading, to prayer, to seeking the Lord's face. And so not only are you not thinking about food, which is pleasurable to the mouth and to the mind and to the body, but there's another type of metaphorical food that you think less about. So when you fast, you're supposed to fast from the going down of the sun on one day until the going down of the sun on the day that you intend to end your fast. So let's say you want to do just a 1 day fast. You'll do that, let's just say, from Sunday night to Monday night. So whenever the sun goes down, when it's completely dark in the sky, you should no longer be eating or drinking. You should have already brushed your teeth if that's what you want to do. You brush your teeth, you stop eating, you stop drinking, and you make sure that nothing touches your tongue for whatever amount of time it is that you've dedicated your fast to be unto the Lord. And during that time, you pray and you ask you ask the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, to give you whatever it is that you believe you need at that moment. But you also have to understand that the Lord knows what we need before we even ask him. And I'll close out in the book of Matthew chapter 6. Our Lord just tells us once again, I'm going straight Yahushai this morning, but hey, there's nothing better than that. Our Lord said in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 16, it says, "Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have the reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face, that thou appearest not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." So when you fast, do so in secret. Be low key about it. You may need to fast and you have to work on the next day during your fast. Be low key, be humble. Make sure that you don't appear unto men to fast. Ask the Lord for what it is that you believe you need to reform your spirit at that moment, whatever it is you want to shake off of you to get rid of your carnal lusts, your fleshly lusts. And you'll see tremendous results as a result. With that, I say Shalom Israel. Take up fasting. It'll help you in the spiritual walk. Shalom.